to TV Moms. Our next guest is the Queen Mother. Please welcome Florence Henderson. They all love you as much as I do. You're our dream mom.
I am so touched by that, and you know, ever since I first saw you, I always wanted to hug you.
Oh.
And be your mother, because I felt you needed me.
Yes, I did. I always did. And you know, it's true. When I was a kid, seriously, and my mom died when I was 10.
I know.
I looked to shows like yours. I really did. And I thought that's sort of an inspirational role model and the kind of mom you wish you had. So you did so much good for people, not just entertaining, but emotionally. It did nurture me. You have to know that.
I always felt that from you, and I've always wanted to just, you know, because Rosie talks stuff, and she goes, yeah, and she talks like that. But you're really a sweet, gentle, soft soul.
Well, thank you very much.
I have to tell you one thing. You know, everybody loves you, and everybody loves this show. And I was just down in Indiana, where you did A League of Their Own. That's my hometown, you know.
Evansville, are you from there?
Yeah, I'm a Hoosier. Well, it was my sister's wedding anniversary. They all said, when they found out I was doing your show, tell Rosie we love her. And then I come home, I'm walking down the dock. I live on a boat. So I'm walking down the dock yesterday to come to the airport, and everybody goes, hey, Flo, where you going? I said, I'm going to do the Rosie show. Tell Rosie we love her. Get to the airport. Kevin, the sky cap, takes my bags. He says, where are you going today, Flo? I said, New York. He said, why? I said, I'm doing the Rosie show tomorrow. He says, tell Rosie I love her. I go upstairs. This is all true. I go upstairs to the Admiral's Club. All the ladies there at the desk say, where are you going today, Flo? I say, New York. I'm doing the Rosie show. Tell Rosie we love her. Go inside. Wait till you hear this. You'll die. You're going to love this. Who's sitting there but Mr. Blackwell with Spencer? Mr. Blackwell said, would you tell Rosie I love her? And he said, and would you give her this card? I'd love to do her show.
Mr. Blackwell? He has said that I am one of the worst dressed people. Did you know that?
He did?
Yeah, like 3 years ago, I was on his top 10 worst people dressed.
Couldn't happen.
And now he wants to do my show. Interesting, Florence. Interesting. Now, you know the episode that we showed? Did you see it on the monitor backstage?
Did you believe that hair?
Well, the hair was nice.
Was it?
But you know what my family did? My parents wanted to move. Like, that was on pre-73.
Right.
Because my mom was still alive, and my brothers and sisters and I, whenever anyone would come to look at the house, we would put on sheets and go, woo, like your kids on the show did to try to, remember? Because you were moving. It was,
of course.
All right, sorry.
And they didn't want to.
Now, do you remember when you auditioned for the role?
Oh, gosh, yes. I was out in California doing a Dean Martin show. And I get a call to come down to Paramount to meet, you know, all these executives. And I said, why? And they said, well, it's for a series. I said, I live in New York. I can't do a series in California.
Right.
Well, I go down there and I meet Sherwood Schwartz, I meet John Rich, I meet Doug Kramer, all these big names, you know, on television. And they said, would you come back later and do a screen test? I said, sure. I have to get to Texas by tonight, but sure, I'll come back. So I came back later that day, and they put me in this makeup room. It was a Star Trek makeup room. I'm sitting between William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy.
Wow!
Yeah.
Were they nice to you?
No.
They weren't nice to you?
William Shatner was not so nice. Leonard was okay. But I've had a chance to talk to Bill Shatner over the years, and I've straightened him out just a bit.
Did you? Give me a high five on that, Florence. We're going to have more with Florence Henderson after this break, so do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Yeah, so, hi, we're back. Me and Florence Henderson, Carol Brady. So, did you have fun? I ask everyone this, but you had fun doing the show, didn't you?
You know what? I loved every minute of that show. I'm proud of it. And when we did that show, you know, we had so little time to rehearse, and we would go off in little corners because we were a film show. And we took every word of that show so seriously. And we were really sincere, and I think that's why it's so easy to parody today.
Yeah, and the parody, the movie, the first movie I loved. The second one I didn't love, truthfully.
Well, that's because we weren't in it.
Exactly right.
Yeah, right.
You know who was in that second one?
No.
Me. But I didn't like it. I thought it was a little mean-spirited. I thought the first one was very funny.
Well, you know what? They asked us to be in the first one. They sent me a scene that really wasn't very funny. And like I was supposed to be real tough and butch, you know, and all this kind of thing.
Yeah. That's not you, Karen.
I wouldn't mind that, darling, but it wasn't funny.
No.
I want fun, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, I turn them down. I go on vacation. I get a call. They want you to come back. They've had all these previews, and they say, where's Florence Henderson? You can't do the Brady Bunch without her.
Exactly.
So now, they didn't offer us any money in the beginning. I said, sure. The money they offered me, I wouldn't get out of bed for that kind of money. I wouldn't get in bed for the kind of money they offered. Seriously. So anyway, I did come back, and they paid me a lot of money. And Betty Thomas and I wrote the scene, and it worked out okay.
Betty Thomas is brilliant, isn't she?
Isn't she
She's so
wonderful?
great. You know Betty Thomas. She was on Hill Street Blues, and she went on to direct Tracy Chapman's show, and now she's directing feature films. Very great.
Yeah.
And of course, you worked with the wonderful Robert Reed, who sadly passed away from AIDS. Very sad.
Yes, you know, Robert was oh, it's hard to talk about him, but he was a great friend, a great actor. He died with so much dignity and so much courage. And I could not believe that one of our infamous tabloid rag sheets printed his death certificate on the front page.
Yeah.
Now, is that cruel or is that cool?
Yes, and at some point, I think when the people at home realize that cruelty, they stop buying them. And that's the only way you can ever hurt them. Is right. Stop buying them.
I agree with
It doesn't matter what we do, it's what the people at home have to do, right? Yeah. Now, I know you've been in so many Broadway shows. You've toured. Look at what I have.
Oh, my gosh.
Playbills of you, Florence Henderson. Favorite show you ever did?
Oh, gosh, I think, you know, this reminds me today, seeing all of these Rosie lookalikes. You all look like postulants, nuns.
That's right. Nuns from The Sound of Music.
Yeah, you do. You look like nuns.
Do you think that, you think, excuse me, what was that?
None of this and none of that.
None of this and none of that.
Well, I got a new guy then.
It's funny, we're getting heckled. We've never been heckled. It's the Rosie lookalikes. They're ornery, loud people. Now, Florence and I worked up a little something from The Sound of Music that represents how I feel about meeting you. And if you don't mind, we could do a little bit of it.
I'd love to.
Thank you, Florence. Hit it, John. I was afraid to meet Mrs. Brady. Had a bad case of nerves. My stomach was jumping, my heart was pumping to give you what you deserve.
You are Rosie and everything's cozy. I could have done this twice.
Oh.
This talk show's easy, the mood's light and breezy. You are the queen of nice.
Overwhelmed was I love that Brady clan.
I from Greg, Peter and Bobby, Marcia, Cindy and Jan. Almost.
Flo, I love you.
Oh, Ro, I feel the same way.
Come on, let's go have lunch.
Personality.
Personality.